Critical Role Campaign 4 Episode 2 is now aired and behind us, or at least those of us who have watched it, and this is going to be the big takeaways from me. All the things that I found the most interesting or enjoyed the most from it. So if that seems interesting to you, stick around, click that subscription button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get into it. So first things first, we started with a hot start. So it was a cold start, but in a very intense way. It was a flashback to a battlefield consisting of several of the players from the table, like Taor, Thimble, Azuna, Cadigan, and 2 death saving throws right off the bat, which was interesting because we know they survive. Maybe it could have played into maybe who saves them or something like that, but we knew they survived because this is a flashback and they're still alive in the future. So we go through that. There's some interesting stuff there, and Casimir's involved, which we'll get to a bit later. Then we go back to the funeral where Taisha is upstairs and she touches the box. This immediately makes her go unconscious. She takes a point of damage falling. Hal then slips beneath her and heals her, but now things have gotten very interesting. Valera comes up, rolls an Arcana, gets a 24, and therefore knows kind of what's going on here. He recognizes Kessian, which is a halfling language, archaic, with celestial glyphs, all hinting at an afterlife, like the gods' afterlife, like their sort of plane of where they took the dead. And then they discover that this box is the coffin of a halfling. Belair and Murray decide to just go ahead and take this. They'll go look at it over at the museum. During this time, Abria's character, Taisha, looks towards Ashley's character, Valus, and hears a bird song of the nightingale. Belair tells people, don't touch things. Stop touching things. Touching things is how this mask got stuck to my face.
Whatever else shows up tonight, do not touch it if you don't know where it came from.
Around this time, Thimble shows up with the gang who went and found her in episode 1. She gets very emotional seeing Thiazi's body, and we get a little bit of a flashback. This flashback is when she first met Thiazi as a gift. She was a gift to him as part of his wedding. It's a very cute scene, really enjoyed that. If you go watch it, you'll like it too. Coming out of that scene, Thimble turns her attention towards Valus and asks, did you do this? Did you kill him for the stone? Valus is like, no, I'm here for the stone. And then Octus is like, yeah, the stone was stolen. It got stolen from you, and then it got stolen from them. Now trying to figure out what all happened with Thiazi's secret escape mechanism that Thimble is supposed to give him, Azuna ends up looking at that device, rolling an Arcana check, and discovers that while physically it's not the same quality as what he was supposed to be given, it is magically very good and meant to be an illusion of the illusion that it was supposed to be. This is when they're like, well, who could have done this? They limit it down to 2 people, and one of them is Casimir, who's a member of the Crow's Keepers, which there were feathers at the attack on Thimble for that. He knew the plan, and he hasn't shown up at the funeral, so all fingers are pointing towards Casimir. And so they decide that they're gonna head on over to where he might be found and ask some questions at the Crow's Keep's place. Then we jump over to Tyranny, who is there with the Halavar family, or at least in their estate, and she's having a discussion with her sisters, which are Agony, Cruelty, and Enmity. And it seems like they know things that Wakander, Sam's character, doesn't. And she's kind of there watching and be like, I don't think he's cut out for this. There's some interesting dynamics there, some aggression and then some goofiness, but overall, it seems very clear the demons know some things, Sam doesn't, and there's more at play here than we've been led to believe. Taor then shows up. There's something that happens in the field, somebody gets hurt, he rolls a nat 20, ends up healing the guy up, Radiance comes down, and then everybody's impressed by it. There's a really cool flipping of the main moment. It's fun.
I'll also stand and rise, and as I turn,
oh shit.
the mane kind of hits in the wind, and the gold of my eyes sort of fades post nat 20.
Whoa. So cool.
We also discover that his armaments are a shield and flail. He'll be rocking a flail. It's pretty cool. He goes up, he meets, shaking the hand of Wakander very firmly, and then Tyranny seems very interested in this, also wants to shake his hand. They do that. They talk a little bit, and the head of the family, this is Sam's character's grandma, shows up and has a little fake, oh yes, pleasantry this, pleasantry that, whatever. But then when Taor leaves after offering to be security for Sam's character, she basically completely code shifts and is like, get rid of him. He's snooping around here, get rid of him.
Inessa turns to you and says, get rid of the elf throw rug, would you?
What? The cat man?
Yeah. He's up to some funny business. Look,
I got no such thing.
When are you gonna open your eyes and realize that our house has got enemies?
Wakander then questions her why did we not save him? I thought we were supposed to be spreading our word and this was a great chance for us to show that sort of forgiveness and all that. And she's like, hey, the Takonas are up to something. They're our closest ally, which means they're the closest one to be able to stab us in the back. We have to keep an eye on them. They wanted him dead. We had to get out of the way. Also, we're gonna have to show you something tonight. And he's like, oh, I'm getting promoted. Well, we'll get to that. We cut to a point where both Murray, played by Marisha, and Bolaire, Taliesin, are going over the box. They've been up all night reviewing things to discover some stuff about it. And they also find that, well, it goes further than they know. Like, he throws an object in there, waits 30 seconds, and never hears it hit the bottom. It's spooky stuff. They also discovered that it is the coffin of Obalad, the Sister of Mists, basically a halfling angel of death. During this, we get some lore. There are beings like demons and fairies and stuff who are actually older than the gods, but there are some that aren't because they were basically summoned or brought here by the gods, and that's like the Celestials, which after the gods were killed, basically became feral. Like, Celestials started just killing people. So there's a whole lot going on with that box, but another interesting bit is that at some point, Bolaire, unbeknownst to Murray, kind of sends his mind into a black box. We don't know what he's talking about, and he's told by Brennan it's deteriorating quickly. We don't know what that means, but something's going on. Then we jump to Julian Davanos, who has some major daddy issues and is also currently at a pleasure house with a man and a woman. He wakes up because his dad's outside saying, Julian, come on, what are we doing here? So he goes out, they have some issues, and they start talking about things that are going on with Octus's family, and it's just a whole lot of stuff. Octus being like the youngest member of the Takanas family. Basically, the Davanos folks have heard that there is a plot to save Thiazi and that they think he's involved, which, I mean, they're on the right track. And now we have Julian basically saying like, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll go figure this out. But he kind of knows stuff, maybe, if he heard stuff, you know, funeral. We then discover that Cadigan's an alcoholic. And that's most of what we discover. He then runs over to try to meet Thimble and them. But before he does, Murray goes to visit kind of like, I guess, her mentor at the School of Magic, and he's been forced to resign. Basically, the council of, you know, the people told him, if you don't resign, then we're gonna stop allowing people to do magic at the School for Magic, which she's like, that doesn't make any sense, but it's what happened. And that's most of what happens there. Then we jump to Cadigan now getting to Thimble. So they climb in the window, which is a cute scene. I'm loving the acting so far. And they decide, hey, let's go to the Crow's Keeper's little place that they hang out at and find some stuff out. So they go. They enter, they start asking about Casimir, and then a man from the back, who we find out is Solomon, says, let him in. When they go back there, she asks some questions. Brennan says, roll a persuasion. She rolls low, and Brennan says, roll initiative. And we stop there after he takes down the initiative, which then takes us back to Exandria. His dad comes in and is like, hey, come on. So they go down, secret areas, places deeper than he's ever been, and his grandma's there, and she's like, hey, come on, show him the thing. And at this point, Tierney's kind of like, ooh, yeah. So there's this big sarcophagus, right? That's what it looks like with some stuff coming off of it, like fibrous tubes. Well, after being told by his grandmother to go ahead and get this thing started, Wikander's dad lifts off the blindfold and shoots radiant laser beams out of his eyes towards the sarcophagus, which then causes it to open, revealing that it is an Iron Maiden with a 30-foot tall angel with not jagged teeth, but like molar sort of style teeth across, lets out the scream. He's just got freaking claws and unfeathered wings like bats, and it's incredible. And then his grandmother looks at him and says,
Wiki, I'd like you to meet your grandfather.
And that's what we're left with, is the fact that his power is not coming from like the light and praying, but it's coming because the filament, the tattoos and things he has are actually the blood of his grandfather, who was an angel. That's a lot to unpack. How do the demons come into play? There's a lot of questions coming from that. Those are the big, interesting moments that I saw in this. I'm curious if you saw anything else. Share it down in the comments. If this was helpful at all, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and leaving a comment, as it'll greatly help with the algorithm. If you want to support me making more content just like this, consider becoming a member here or heading over to my Patreon and subscribing. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, good luck in your adventures.